Hello everyone! Are you excited to learn about a very important topic in human biology? Okay, let's get started. Today we are going to educate ourselves about a monthly biological phenomenon that most women go through. It is the menstrual cycle, also known as period. Between us kids, when I was your age, we called it that time of the month because barely did we feel comfortable talking about female health. Silly, right? Periods are a time in most girls' lives when their uterus naturally releases the blood out of their bodies through their genitals. Well, as some of you might know, during puberty our bodies go through some changes, like getting acne, changes in voice, and growth of body hair. This is the body's way of letting you know that you are growing up. As a part of this natural growing up process, somewhere between the ages of 8 and 15, most girls start to feel a major transformation in their ovaries that begin to release a hormone called estrogen. This hormone plays an important role in the normal sexual and reproductive development in females and helps for future reproduction if it's desirable. During the process called ovulation, the egg from one of the ovaries bursts out of the follicle, then it moves along the fallopian tube and reaches the uterus. The egg embeds itself on the uterus lining. And since the egg won't be turned into a baby just yet, the uterus lining will shed and break into smaller tissues. The uterus then expels it out along with some blood via the genital opening. Most women's period will last for around 3 to 8 days. The whole process will start again after the bleeding stops and will take around 28 whole days. Okay kids, let's look at this visual to help us understand how the menstrual cycle repeats itself. So as we saw before and in simple words, the menstruation or bleeding period will last from the first 3 to 8 days. This is when the uterus lining will shed. In preparation for ovulation, the uterus lining will grow again after the bleeding stops. Then we will have the ovulation when, as we saw before, the egg will be released from one of the ovaries and will find its way back to the uterus. The uterus will continue thickening, and since the egg will not be fertilized and hence will die, the bleeding will happen again and the menstrual cycle repeats itself. This cycle will keep repeating itself until later on in a woman's life at around 50 years of age when a natural depletion of the ovaries occur. So now we know what happens to most girls during their period. And remember, my friends, a period is an entirely natural process, and there is nothing impure, gross, or embarrassing about it. Let's look together at this very, very fun scenario. So Jane comes and she says, "Oh no, my uterus hurts. I think I just got my period." So Katie, one of her friends, replies, "Don't worry, girl, I got you. Here's a pad." And Patty replies, "And I have some tampons too. Might be easier for your workout." But what does that mean? What are all these options? Well, of course, kids, there are many options like pads, tampons, and others that will help people that menstruate to manage their bleeding. But this is something we will discuss later on in another video. And not to forget that this process might be very painful for some people, so we need to support them, ease their pain, and empathize with them. Alright, boys and girls, can you think of any way to ease the pain of people while menstruating? Well, keep that in mind because this is the topic for our next video. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to be kind.